If you've kept abreast of all the news coming out of the Vatican, you've probably seen the announcement of the official mascot for the Roman Catholic Church's 2025 Jubilee Year, an anime-styled girl by the name of Luce. Before I give my own thoughts about the first official Roman Catholic anime girl, who is Luce? Luce, which is the Italian word for light, is part of the Vatican's push to engage with, quote, the pop culture so beloved by our young people, as according to Archbishop Rino Fiscella, the organizer for the Jubilee Year, which will, quote, allow us to speak to younger generations about the theme of hope, which is more central than ever in the evangelical message, end quote. The blue-haired anime girl, cloaked in a yellow raincoat, is representative of a pilgrim, wearing a world mission rosary, muddy boots from her travels, and carrying a pilgrim's staff. Even her eyes bear the shape of a seashell, a traditional symbol of Catholic pilgrimage. This is, of course, appropriate for a Catholic Jubilee Year, which is a holy year typically every 25 years, dedicated to a special grace and pilgrimage. Indeed, the Vatican is expecting 30 million pilgrims to Rome by year end of 2025. Luce is joined by her friends, Faye, Sin, and Sky. Luce and her friends were designed by Italian artist Simone Legno, creator of Tokidoki, a Japanese-inspired lifestyle brand. This Japanese-inspired mascot is fitting, since she will be also front and center for the Vatican's pavilion at Expo 2025 in Osaka, Japan. I didn't really expect to make a part 2 to my Orthodox Warhammer 40k Purity Seal video, at least not this soon, but it looks like that's the way the cookie crumbles. If you haven't already seen that video, I highly recommend you check it out as another example of a Christian intersection with pop culture. Now, just as a sort of preface to my own personal thoughts on Luce, I should state that, as a member of the Orthodox Church, I don't feel too strongly one way or the other. It's not my house, so I don't need to be particularly invested in it at the end of the day. But I do see both sides of the argument, those who love her and those who hate her. To start, and again, if you haven't watched my Purity Seal video yet, I highly recommend, but to start, I would argue that Luce is a completely different animal than the Orthodox Purity Seals. Whereas the Orthodox Purity Seals with Psalm 90 inscribed upon them were initially a concept from a tabletop wargame taken and molded into something Christian, for better or worse, its origin was in something secular, a baptism of something from pop culture into a Christian devotional device. Luce, on the other hand, was born from the Roman Catholic Church. She was designed, firstly, with the church in mind, using the pop culture aesthetic of Japanese anime. The contrast being bringing something from outside the church into the church versus the church creating something to interact with pop culture at large, as the Archbishop himself stated. So, as I said, Luce is a bit of a different animal, and as such, from the onset, I don't have as much hesitancy towards Luce. Likewise, I've seen the comparison brought up as well, but this is not another case of the infamous anime icon. Now, if you're on Twitter, every 2 or 3 months or so, an anime rendition of Our Lady of the Passion makes its rounds, sparking debate about it, which goes nowhere, until the same debate happens again in the next time it is posted. If there's interest, perhaps that's a topic for a video in the future. However, unlike icons which are made for veneration and devotional worship, Luce is just a mascot. No one is arguing for stained glass installations of Luce. In fact, since the Vatican decided to go with an anime style, I think it's good they decided to create a new character. Luce is not real. So there's less worry about proper depictions and respect shown for her compared to that of a saint. I think we can all agree that we shouldn't have chibi Archangel Michael casting out a chibi Satan, which unfortunately does indeed exist. When dealing with the sacred, there should be a level of solemnity and respect, which is a point critics of Luce have brought up. Instead of an anime mascot, why not highlight a particular saint for the Jubilee? Which is an argument I understand. There's the question of engaging with the culture without watering down the faith itself. Is Luce just a how do you do kids type of evangelism, that will fall flat, or will it genuinely spark interest in the faith for both those without and those within the Church? I don't see why the Vatican can't do both, and Luce is just there to get people talking, as obviously she already has, and the Jubilee hasn't even started yet. Perhaps something that could have been done, since she is to represent a pilgrim, would be to give her a devotion to a saint, as a way to draw attention to that saint, without shebifying the holy. So long as the message isn't anime, and Luce is just the bait to get people curious about the Church, we'll see if that's the case. It's important not to forget about the whole point of it all. Which leads to another criticism, that of the artist who designed it. As mentioned before, Simone Legno of Tokidoki was the creator. As to how he was chosen as the artist, I don't believe that's been made public. Tokidoki has, in the past, produced art in promotion of LGBT pride and the like, but beyond that, even partnered with an adult toy company for licensed Tokidoki paraphernalia. One could, of course, make the argument that it's just an art piece, and whatever compensation the artist received is for that purpose. Just as, for example, if the Vatican were to hire someone to repair the plumbing, it would seem silly to insist the plumber were morally pure. That's not what he's there for. He's there to fix the pipes, not to preach. However, the mascot for Jubilee Year is something directly related to the Church's ministries and evangelism. I don't think it's unreasonable to ask for discernment regarding these kinds of things. You know, if Luce is designed to reach out to and interact with pop culture and the youth, what message does it send to partner and, in essence, promote a company which advocates for a message which contradicts Roman Catholic doctrine? If anything, I think this is probably the key point those concerned should ask questions about. But as for my own personal opinion on Luce, I think she's cute and inoffensive, and I think that was the point. The design might be a bit generic. If you remove the rosary, I don't think Luce and her friends would be out of place in any collection of corporate mascot characters. But again, that's probably the point. She's designed for mass appeal. As for interaction with pop culture, I think it's good for Christians and the Church at large to engage with pop culture. I tried to do that a bit with my own channel, looking at something in the culture and filtering it through my own lens and see what it says. I think that's something we should do more of, but I am a bit mixed on creation of pop culture by the Church. Pop culture is a consumerist product, so I think the Church should instead direct efforts to creating real culture. The idea of something designed to sell something versus real culture, which is a total lifestyle, a way to live. I think we can all agree there's a big difference between a figurine of Luce and the frescoes of Michelangelo in the Sistine Chapel. There's already a ton of Luce fan art, including some Orthodox renditions, memes with Luce online, cosplay, even a pump and dump cryptocurrency already, and then some not-so-savory things as people are wont to do. Ultimately, I see Luce in the same vein as any other Christian meme online, such as the classic Crusader memes. This one just so happens to be officially sanctioned by the Vatican itself. It's fun. It's shallow. It's not meant to be more than that. It's kitschy. Now, I don't know if the actual figurine is going to be sold, but it really reminds me of those Precious Moments dolls. It's a religious kitsch, a little figurine of an angel or a little boy knelt down in prayer. In fact, if your mom or grandma has a collection of Precious Moments figurines, this might be a good way to bond with her. Talk to her about it, share it with her. Get a Luce figurine and set it next to the Precious Moments boy. Because if the goal is for Luce to be a point of entrance into the faith, this would be the perfect way to go about that. But, all in all, talk about Luce leading mass conversions or that she's a sign of the end of the Roman Catholic Church. It's just not that deep. I don't see Luce being a topic of note after the 2025 Jubilee Year ends. Some memes will still pop up every now and then some account on Twitter in 2035 called Forgotten Out of Context Crazy-Ass Moments That Go Hard in History will post something like, "Hey, remember when the Catholic Church made their own anime girl?" And everyone will collectively say, "Oh yeah, I remember that." And then everyone moves on with their day. I think the conversation around her has been a bit overblown. It's just not that deep. For better or worse, Luce is just not that deep. And that's my outside looking in opinion. Since we have Orthodox purity seals and a Catholic anime girl, stay tuned for part 3 when in 2 months the Coptic Church releases a Souls-alike, and I'll give my thoughts on that one too. So be sure to like and subscribe for that one. And if you didn't like this video, well, it's my sincerest hope that you get isekai'd into the Catholic anime world of your dreams. I would like to give a special shout out to all patrons and supporters, especially Daniel, Yvonne, Tim, Timothy, and Marco. And if you haven't picked up your copy of Beacon from the Bay, the collected works of Saint Sebastian, the first American-born Orthodox priest, whose writings have been out of print for over a century, link is in the description. I promise you'll enjoy it. And with that, I will see you all next time.